Why we need silence. The extraordinary science behind why quietness heals the human brain, Part 2. Welcome back to Army. In the first part of today's journey, we discovered that silence is much more than the absence of sound. It allows the brain to recover from constant stimulation, protects our attention, and may even support the growth of new neurons. But now another fascinating question appears. Why do so many people feel uncomfortable when everything becomes quiet? Imagine sitting alone in a completely silent room. No music, no television, no conversations, no notifications, nothing to distract your attention. For the first few seconds, the silence feels peaceful. Then something unexpected happens. Your mind begins to wander. You remember a conversation from yesterday. You start planning tomorrow's schedule. Suddenly, an embarrassing moment from years ago pops into your head. Without realizing it, you've become lost in your own thoughts. Why? Because silence doesn't stop the brain from working. In many ways, it allows the brain to become even more active. In the early 2000s, neuroscientists using functional MRI scanners noticed something surprising. When volunteers stopped performing difficult tasks and simply rested quietly, one particular network inside the brain became highly active. At first, researchers thought this activity was simply meaningless background noise. But the pattern appeared again and again. Eventually, scientists realized they had discovered one of the brain's most important systems. Today, it is known as the default mode network, often shortened to the DMN. The default mode network becomes active when your attention is no longer focused on the outside world. Instead, your brain turns inward. It reflects, imagines, remembers, plans, and connects ideas. You can think of it as the brain's internal workshop. Even when you appear to be doing nothing, billions of neurons are quietly organizing information behind the scenes. This explains why some of your best ideas appear while taking a shower, walking alone, looking out of a train window, or lying quietly before falling asleep. During these moments, the brain is free from constant external demands. Instead of reacting, it begins creating. Many of history's greatest thinkers understood this long before neuroscience existed. Albert Einstein often took long walks when he struggled with difficult problems. Charles Darwin built a thinking path near his home, where he walked every day while developing his scientific ideas. The famous composer Ludwig van Beethoven carried a notebook during his walks because musical ideas frequently appeared while he was surrounded by nature. Today, brain imaging research suggests these habits may have had a biological explanation. Quiet environments allow large-scale brain networks to communicate more freely, increasing the likelihood of forming unexpected connections between ideas. This process is closely related to creativity. People often imagine creativity as a sudden flash of inspiration. In reality, it is usually the result of countless pieces of information being reorganized into something new. Silence gives the brain the opportunity to perform this hidden work. Another fascinating area of research concerns education. Many schools and workplaces believe that constant activity leads to greater productivity. However, psychologists have repeatedly found that the brain needs periods of rest to perform at its best. Without opportunities to pause, mental fatigue gradually builds, attention declines, mistakes increase, learning becomes more difficult. Rest is not the opposite of productivity. It is one of its foundations. Researchers at the University of Edinburgh and several other institutions have found that spending time in natural environments may improve attention and reduce mental fatigue. One explanation is known as attention restoration theory, developed by psychologists Rachel Kaplan and Stephen Kaplan. According to this theory, natural environments gently capture our attention without overwhelming it. Watching leaves move in the wind, listening to flowing water, observing clouds drift across the sky. These experiences allow the brain's directed attention system to recover. Afterward, many people find it easier to concentrate on demanding tasks. Silence also changes how we experience emotions. In a noisy environment, the brain constantly processes external information. But when everything becomes quiet, we often become more aware of our inner world. This can sometimes feel uncomfortable. Thoughts that were hidden beneath constant distraction begin to surface. Old worries, unfinished conversations, dreams, regrets, hopes. For this reason, some people avoid silence altogether. Not because silence is frightening, but because it allows them to hear thoughts they have been avoiding. Interestingly, psychologists suggest that learning to spend time in quiet reflection may improve emotional awareness and self-understanding, rather than escaping every moment of silence. Allowing the mind to settle may help us better understand ourselves. Of course, this doesn't mean every silent moment feels peaceful. The brain is incredibly active. Sometimes silence brings clarity. Sometimes it brings difficult emotions. Both are part of being human. Perhaps this explains why meditation has attracted scientific interest around the world. Although different meditation techniques vary greatly, many involve reducing external stimulation and gently directing attention inward. Researchers have found that regular meditation practice may influence attention, emotional regulation, and stress responses in the brain. Scientists continue investigating exactly how these changes occur, but the evidence suggests that intentionally creating moments of quiet can have measurable effects on mental well-being. Perhaps silence is not empty after all. Perhaps it is one of the few places where the brain finally has enough space to hear itself think. And that leads us to one final mystery. If silence is so important for learning, creativity, and emotional health, why has modern life become louder than ever before? What does this mean for the future of the human brain? That's exactly what we'll explore in the final part. Today we've discovered that silence activates the brain's default mode network, supports creativity, restores attention, and gives us the opportunity to reflect, learn, and grow. But one final question remains. How much silence do we actually need? And what does modern neuroscience recommend for protecting our minds in an increasingly noisy world? In the final chapter, Army will explore the long-term effects of noise pollution, the science of quiet living, and why a few minutes of silence each day may be one of the healthiest habits you can develop. I'll see you in the final chapter of our journey.